Hi, Professor Olson. It's Madison. I'm here to talk to you about my AA experience. I went to a Veterans AA, and this was located at the VA hospital. The clients that we saw were veterans. They were there to go through the program that was offered through the VA. A lot of them were also staying at the VA, and they were there to receive treatment that they were going through, and then they were leaving eventually. My overall experience of this was amazing. I did not think that I was going to like it as much as I did, but I really, honestly loved the assignment, and I would go back in a heartbeat, but I don't want to intrude myself on their meetings. They were so nice. They were so welcoming. They really appreciated the fact that there were nurses there learning about what alcoholism was and how it affects a person. So it was just really awesome to see their reaction to us. They were not shy. They were not scared. They didn't want us to leave. They were very welcoming. And it was honestly such a good experience. My own feelings and thoughts prior to the attendance of the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, I honestly did not know how it was going to go. I have never been to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, so I didn't know what types of information was going to be given out by these people. I didn't know what kind of conversation was going to happen. I didn't know anything about how the meetings are ran, so I was going into it pretty much open to anything that was going to happen. I also didn't know what kind of people were going to be there. I didn't know if they were going to be, still trying to jump on the bandwagon of recovering, or if they were going to be years recovered, or if they were going to be days recovered, which we ran into all sorts at the VA meeting. My previous thoughts were not changed because I didn't really have any going into it. I just didn't know what to expect, but I came out feeling amazing, and it was such a great experience. So I would recommend this to anyone who is struggling with alcoholism. I would recommend AA meeting immediately, because even though I do not struggle with alcoholism, I would go back to the meeting just because of how it made me feel when I walked out. It was just so uplifting. It was so amazing. You felt very relaxed and stress-free. It was just a really good time. This experience, going to an AA meeting, relates to our theoretical material that we're studying in class, because it goes along with how we talk about alcoholism, but we don't necessarily know how the person is struggling behind closed doors, or what they are feeling, or why they continue to drink, or what they think is happening with them. We don't really understand that through understanding alcoholism through a textbook or through a PowerPoint. That's not something that we understand. So getting this from a person and people who are struggling with this was great to apply the theoretical material that we have been talking about. The recovery principles that they identified in their group was obviously the 12 steps to recovery. They also read through a little verse thing that they say. Everyone stood up and held hands and read through that. We also said a prayer that was also standing up and holding hands. And then they had a book that they read a passage out of, and that passage was the basis for the conversation that was going to be had with each of the members throughout that meeting. So the passage was read, and then each person went around and correlated their alcoholism and their struggles to the passage. One specific client that really stood out to me, he was at the VA and he was staying there. He had actually came there, I'm not sure how long ago, but I would say 2 to 3 months ago, and he came there for a relapse in alcohol, and then he was enrolled in their program that they have where they can graduate. They have a program there that is for people who have been sober, who are alcoholics, and they can graduate it, and then they can actually go home, which is the goal. He stood out to me because He was so happy, and everyone was so happy for him for graduating. He got 2 coins, one for being sober for a certain amount of days, and then one for graduating, which was super cool to see because everyone was so happy for him, and he was really excited about going home. He also stood out to me because, like we have talked about, the rap plans. He actually had one. So his plan was to go home and mow the lawn and then go straight to a friend's house. So he would eliminate all temptation to go and drink after doing certain activities, or if he was alone, oh, let me have a beer. So he said he was gonna go to his friend's house. One of the guys sitting across the room was like, you know what goes good with a freshly mowed lawn is a cold beer. You might want to rethink that. And he was like, you know what, you're right, I gotta rethink it. But it was cool to see that he actually had a plan in place. He also had a plan if he wanted to drink. He had a plan if he actually did drink. He had multiple plans in place so that if he did relapse or is thinking about relapsing, he would have something in place to help him get through whatever he's going through. So that was cool to see. He was very excited. Everyone was so happy for him, and it really stood out to me because he received 2 of the coins, and it was super cool to see him be so thankful for what the VA and what Alcoholics Anonymous has done for him. The priority nursing diagnosis that I would give to him would be risk for relapse or risk for drinking or engaging in drinking behavior. He's already rethinking his plan, which was just because of a joke that someone made, but that's real life for them. It's like, okay, doing the laundry goes good with a beer, or mowing the lawn goes good with a beer. So those are things that they have to think through every single day in order to not relapse again. So that would be my priority diagnosis for him. This experience definitely impacted the way that I'm going to be a nurse to my patients. We're going to come across alcoholics in our career, regardless of what field we work in. And I feel like this experience has let me understand what they are going through. We only get to see our patients for hours, days, shifts at a time. We don't get to see them for, their whole life or understand what they are going through every day, because they may not even tell us what they're going through. They may not even let us know that they're an alcoholic, but they are struggling with something underlying and they are not letting us know. So understanding where they are coming from has given me a whole new perspective. Like I said in the beginning, this was such an amazing experience. The veterans were so nice. It was just so amazing. We walked in and sat in the back row, and they were like, no, girls, come sit with us. We want you to be here. We're so excited that you're here. We are so happy that you chose this profession. You're going to do great. We appreciate the nurses at the VA so much. We love everything that you guys have to provide for the community. So if you want to recommend an AA meeting to any of your classes, I would definitely recommend the veterans one at the VA hospital. It was phenomenal, and I cannot even describe how I left feeling. It was just amazing, and all the men there were fantastic. They were so nice, so welcoming, and I had a great experience. So thank you for allowing me to do this.